Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, this is just going to be me elaborating on like my arrest and me getting booked into jail and the stuff that I can laugh about now that was, Lord, it was horrifying back then, but I can laugh at it now. I can laugh. This is Coco. If you don't know, she's in every single video. Y'all look at my shirt. I just ordered it from Etsy the other day. It's so cute. Okay, anyway. Let's not get off track. Okay, so I left off telling y'all that I was in front of the pharmacy and it was rush hour. And I had just gotten my fake prescription. The prescription I wrote myself. And I went out to my vehicle, got in to leave, surrounded, you know, they was rolling up in there 20 deep. Like I'm telling you, like I was yeah, so they rolled up and, you know, get out of the car, had me on the ground, and then just like so inconvenienced. Like,
what are you doing?
You know, excuse me, I need you to take these handcuffs off because I'm not going to jail. I'm just not. And the cop's like, exact words,
baby, you going to jail.
I was like, but I'm not. But I did. And so, side note, the narcotics detective, I guess he's a detective, had to be a detective. Yeah, he was a detective. Anyway, he was part of the narcotics, not the DEA part, but like the Livingston Parish, like, because in Louisiana we don't have counties, we have parishes. So the Livingston Parish, he was part of that. Y'all, that man flirted like crazy. And I'm just like, what is going, what? No. We got an arrest going on here. And he's like, but come to find out, y'all, go Google Denny Perkins. Or Dennis Perkins and Cynthia Perkins. Cynthia, is that his wife's name? That's who arrested me. Google it. Google it. Y'all. He in jail now. But as sucky as getting arrested was, if I could thank every single DEA agent, every single narcotics detective, I don't know what they're called. Detective? Narcotics detective? If I could thank every single one of them today, thank you, because you saved my life. Because if I had not been arrested that day, I would have died. It was just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. I mean, Lord, I don't know how I don't know how I didn't die. So, the whole arrest happens during peak traffic time. So, you know, all the cars that are lined up in that little car, because it was Village Pharmacy and it was in a curve and it was peak traffic time. So all the cars were stopped up because there was a red light up the road. And so they're all stopped up from that red light in this curve, getting a good show with me being arrested. So I get arrested. You know, like not going to jail, not going to jail, not going to jail. In the back of the cop car, not going to jail. I'm not going to jail. Look, hand behind my, I'm not going to jail. These handcuffs are hurting. Could you take them off? I mean, this is ridiculous, y'all, because I'm not even going to jail. All the way to the jail. And then, oh God, I was such a brat. I don't know how they dealt with me. It's like probably 20, 30 minutes to the jail. And at this point in time, I didn't even know where the jail was. Because, like I said, I'd never been in trouble before. So I had no reason to know where the jail was. So I'm in handcuffs and I'm in the back of the car and I'm like, oh, mean, where is this place? Where is this jail? Like, I mean, we've been riding for like 20 minutes. Oh, can we, I mean, like, good Lord. Can you go a little faster? Like, what? Can we get there? Like, what's going on? Like, oh, my goodness. Where is this place? Oh, my goodness. So we get there. And you know that they drive in and that gate just slams behind you. And then you go into, they open this door and it's a room. It's just like a mud room, I guess, in a house. But it's a jail. Does that even make sense? Anyway, you have to go in there and you have to like, you know, turn your pockets inside out. And cause I was wearing like jeans, a t-shirt, obviously, cause that's all I ever wear is jeans and a t-shirt. And I remember, I was so mad. I had some Saints Nike Shocks and I was wearing those. I remember my mom threw away everything like that I got arrested in because she was like, you don't want, you know, those memories. And I was like, but my shoes. But don't nobody care about them damn shoes. Anyway, so you had to take your shoes off, your socks off, you know, all that kind of stuff. And after they determine that you don't have anything on your person, like nothing in your mouth, and nothing in your pockets, nothing in your socks. We're not talking about like body part search yet. This is just like nothing in your clothes. You put your stuff back on and then you go into a holding cell. And I go into the cell. There's a lady in there and she's probably, let's see, I was like 30 at the time. So she was probably maybe 40, 45. So very sweet looking. She had, you know, really long hair that she had braided. You know, I was like, hey, so I've never done this before. Like, what do I need to expect? Like, have you ever done this before? Is this your first time? And she's like, no, I'm actually coming back from prison. She's like, I'm getting out of prison. I was in prison for 3 years. She said, so they transferred me back to this jail until they get my papers or whatever so I can be released. And oh, that poor, she ended up being in there like as long as I was. So I don't know what was going on with that, but oh my gosh, she was the sweetest. I was friends with her the whole time I was there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, what are you arrested for? I'm like, I really don't know right now, but I was writing my prescription, so pretty sure that's what it was. And she's like, oh. And I'm like, what? And she's like, that's what I just got out of prison for. She's like, I went to prison for 3 years for writing my own prescription. Doctor would like write 20 and she would put a 1 in front of the 20, so it'd be 120. And they ended up catching her and they gave her 3 years. So, y'all know my mind was like, oh my God, 3 years. I can't do 3 years in prison. What? No, 3 years in prison. Oh my God, oh my God. So then I'll start panicking. I'm like, oh my, no, this isn't happening. What am I gonna do? Oh Lord, help me. Oh Lord, help me. And so that's when, like, they left me in there for a long time. You know, they were like, you can have your phone call. And I'm like, no, thank you. I'm good. I don't have anybody to call. Because, you know, I mean, we had iPhones at that time. And so I didn't know anybody's number by heart. And the only person whose number I did know was my mom's. And y'all know if y'all watched my other video, which I will link up there, I wasn't calling my mama. I did not want her to know that I was in jail. Oh Lord, I did not want her to know I was in jail. Oh, and I'm 30 years old and I'm scared deathly. Oh my God, my mama's gonna find out I'm in jail. Whoo! I mean, I smoked when I was 30 years old and I hid it from my mama and my daddy. They wouldn't have cared. I was 30. But it was that whole, like, didn't want to disappoint them thing, so I hid it from them. God. I'm sure they knew. They could probably smell it. Like, you can. I don't smoke anymore, so I know, like, if somebody smokes, I can smell it when, you know, when they come in, some could smell it. I mean, I didn't live with them, but I'm just saying, like, when I would go to their house or whatever, I'm sure they could smell it. Dumbass. I don't smoke. Who cares? You're 30. Anyway, I was an idiot. So, my mom found out. She calls up there. Y'all already know this part if you watched the first video. If you didn't, Mom calls up there and the officer there is like, your mom's on the phone. And I'm like, and he's like, you need to come. And I'm like, no. So, you know, of course I talked to her. She's like, 14 felonies. I said, you've been charged with, you know, I was like, oh God. So, you know, she's just like, you can rot in there. You can sit in there and you can just stay and think about what you've done. And I can finally sleep and know that you're not dead. And, you know, so I went through all this in my other video, which I said I'll link. So I went through that. And like I said, once they find out you're not bonding out, then you got to go to the back. But before all that, after that phone call, they got me and took me to do like my fingerprints and my mugshot. And now everybody can find their mugshots. I cannot find my mugshot. I don't know if they just felt so sorry for me because I was bawling, like boo-hooing. And my mugshot probably looks like this. Like I was crying so hard in my mugshot. And I cannot find, I have looked on every website, everywhere. I can't find it. But I'm kind of glad because, Lord, it was bad. So bad. So they, you know, charged me with all my things and I did all my stuff. And so then when they take you to the back, you got to go to the shower area. And this is where they get your orange jumpsuit. And because I'm 5'9", but I am weighed but 113 pounds, they give me an extra large because so it'll be long enough because I'm so tall. It's hard to find pants that are long enough to fit anyway. Like, it's ridiculous. So I'm in this huge extra large jumpsuit. But before that, this is how bratty I was. We go in the showers and they take you 3 at a time. So 3 women at a time. And they're like, okay, strip down. And I'm like, in front of everybody? And the female guard was like, yeah. And I was like, I don't think so. And she's like, do it now. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so then they have like this little wall and then like a shower head and they have this lice shampoo. And so everybody's got to go in there and wash their hair with this lice shampoo. I literally was like, I'm not touching that lice shampoo. Because first of all, I don't have lice, which I didn't. And my hair is color treated. So I can only imagine that's going to strip the color out of my hair. Like that was something I needed to worry about then. That was what I was worried about. And the guard was just like, wash your hair. And I'm like, I'm not washing my hair with this stuff. And she's just like, okay, well, wet your hair and I'm going to turn my back and pretend like you washed your hair. So she was cool about that. I was not putting that stuff in my hair because I was so worried about it being color treated. That is not something I needed to worry about. And then after you get done with washing your hair and that kind of stuff, then you got to squat cough. And I mean squat and cough. Like they want you to cough your insides out. Because, you know, they want to make sure that you ain't got nothing stuffed up in there. Which, I don't know how anybody would have the vajayjay muscles to have anything stay up in there with that kind of squatting and coughing you was doing. Oh, Lord. Humiliating. Oh, my goodness. That was so humiliating. So then, you know, we've got our jumpsuits and then they decide, oh, and we have wristbands that have our mug shots and like what level they think that we are, whether we're, you know, like minimum security, medium, or maximum. My ass got maximum security. Come on now. Come on now. I wasn't even fighting. I was writing prescriptions. But anyway, that's what, so I had, I think it was yellow was my color. I don't know. It was like color coded, like with what, you know, in what order you were as far as like least to worst. So apparently I was the worst. And so they put you basically, and I liked the way that they did it. And this was dorm style. So the jail was dorm style. And they had 2 dorms for the women. And I liked the way that they did it because they had dorm A1 and A2. I think I was in A1. A1 was like, I think 30 and older. And A2 was like, you know, 30 and under. So it was like the younger people were in A2 and us, 30's not old, but you know what I mean? Like we were in A1. So I'm so glad I wasn't in A2 because you could hear like, you know, them over there partying or fighting or just screaming. And I was just like, oh Lord, no, I couldn't have been over there. Nope, couldn't have happened. So they give you, you know, like this mattress. It's green and it has a built-in pillow. There ain't no pillow in it. There ain't no pillow. It's all the same. It's like literally like a mattress and then the built-in pillow is like maybe like that. There ain't no pillow. There ain't no pillow. This ain't about comfort. And then you get a sheet that you got to cover that green mattress with, mat, we'll call it a mat. Cover the mat with, and then a blanket. Luckily, the jail that I went to was actually pretty new. I think it had been built maybe 3 years before I went to it. So it wasn't nasty. I was arrested again for like the same thing except for in Baton Rouge. This is how I know that this jail was nicer than some other jails. Because I've been to a couple of them. It was freezing in there. Freezing in there. And when I tell you it had to have been, because I'm always hot. Like I keep my house at 66 degrees. And I was like teeth chattering. Like, ugh. It was freezing in there. Freezing. So as tough love as, you know, my mom showed me, like my mom and dad showed me, they put money on my books every week. So I bought like long johns. So I had on like long john pants, long john shirt, and then you could buy, this is stuff you could buy off of commissary. And then I had a gray sweatsuit. So I had gray sweatpants, gray sweatshirt. So I had on long johns, gray sweatpants, same thing up top. You know, I go to the back with my mattress and, you know, get a bunk or whatever. And I hear, Sarah! And I'm like, who the F is calling my name? And I'm like lifting my head up off my bed like, I mean, it's a common name. Are they calling me or somebody else? And she's like, Sarah! Tennessee! Because Tennessee was like, that was my nickname in jail because obviously my accent. Because I was born in Memphis. But anyway, so Tennessee! And I'm like, I look over and I'm like, Becca? We'll say the name because I'm not saying last names, and Becca's a common name too. And so I was like, oh my God, I ain't seen you in like since high school. I mean, we were friends in high school. And she was in there. Oh, she was bad, 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 bad. Lord, she ended up going to prison for like 10 years. But we were in there together, and we ended up like, we went to the same rehab when we got out of jail. And like, she went a week before me, and then I went, you know, I was released from jail like a week later, like to my parents for them to take me to the rehab, and she ended up being there. So I'm like, oh my God, we've been in jail together with the same rehab. The jail I was at was very clean. They came in every morning. It was like a police officer, a guard, and a trustee. And we had to put our oranges on when people like that came in. And they bleached everything, like all the sinks, toilets, showers, everything like that. And it sucked though, because like if you had to pee or do number two, there was no privacy. It was like bunks, toilets like 30 feet away. But if you're in your bunk, I mean, it's literally like the bunks are facing the toilet. So if people are in their bunks and you got to go to the toilet, it's just literally like they have like you're sitting at a theater where the movie screen is and there's the toilets. So how are you supposed to use the bathroom like that? And then the shower was the same way. It was open. So shower completely open. I've heard of stories of where and Baton Rouge was like that. They had shower curtains. No, this was completely open. There was, I think, 3 shower heads. And oh, I'm gonna tell you what, that water pressure, that shit like to knock your hair off your head. I mean, it was blasting out of them faucets, which is good. I like some good water pressure, but Lord have mercy, when that thing first hit me, I was like, good Lord. Whew. I was blessed and lucky enough that my parents put a lot of money on my books. So on my account, we got the books in the jail. They put some money on your books. So, you know, you'd have the sheet, and shit is expensive in there. I mean, like a bag of chips is like $3, and we would get commissary every Wednesday. And so I would come back with a bag full of like candy bars and Cokes and chips and, you know, whatever else. I mean, it was, because you had to go a whole week. So I would order literally like 14 candy bars, like 14 bags of chips, like some soup. The dorm I was in it was not bad. Sometimes they would let us go outside. And when I say outside, I'm going to have to see if I can find a picture of outside. When you went outside, it was like 15 foot high, cement walls all around, and then like a net over the top of it. So, I mean, you got to see some sunlight, but you didn't get to see outside. So it wasn't really outside. It was just like some fresh air, I guess. Some fresh air, because it was just walls and then like a net over the top of the, so that was outside. And I would usually, like, on the days that I knew they were going to let us outside, I would wash my hair. Oh, and that was another thing. I was such a brat. I was like, they don't have blow dryers in here. Oh, this is such an inconvenience. I need to blow dry my hair. Oh, Lord. I mean, it was a total wake up call. I mean, I was legit like Orange is the New Black, because I was little Miss Priss up in there like, I ain't using that shampoo. Y'all don't have blow dryers in here? What's going on? Oh no, I'm not touching that. I'm not doing. By the time I left there, I had been humbled a massive amount. And I needed that. I needed that bad. I needed to be humbled real bad. Real bad. Oh, and another thing about Livingston Parish, which I think is absolutely fantastic, because most jails don't have this, they had a detox packet. So people that came in that were on drugs, like me, like opiates, I mean, you have to send a request to medical for a detox packet. And I did that my very first day there, because I was like, I'm going to start detoxing. Oh, this is going to be so bad. I was like not looking forward to it. So I was not in a good mood. And I sent a request to medical, and they got on that quick. I mean, they called me out. Like, I probably put that request in at, I don't know, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They called me out at 2 a.m. Like, woke me up and was like, you need to come pee in this cup. And when I say you need to come pee in this cup, like, they watch you pee in the cup. Like, you have your orange jumpsuit, and of course, you know, we're women, so it's not like when you drop that jumpsuit, they ain't nothing underneath. So, you know, you drop the jumpsuit, and so and I'm one of those people that, like, I can't pee on command. Like, I have a shy bladder. So, like, the nurse and the guard standing there looking at me, and I'm like, I gotta do this. I gotta pee. I gotta pee. I've got to do this. I have to do it. And so I was like, y'all, I'm sorry. I have a shy bladder. Let me concentrate. And so, like, I would just close my eyes, and I just, like, pushed as hard as I can. Finally got the pee out, and they was like, woo, girl, what don't you have in your system? So they give you a detox packet for, I think it's 14, it's either 10 or 14 days. And what comes in it is Phenergan, Imodium, Clonidine, and Ativan. So you get that for, it's either 10 or 14 days. You talk about make a difference. That made such a huge difference, you know, and I was really lucky to have gone there, because had I gone to Baton Rouge or like another jail that didn't have that, I would have just had to detox. And I don't know how people do that. I really don't. So I was grateful that they had the detox packet there. Okay, so I've talked about the arrest, getting booked into jail, being in the jail. I was in the jail for 2.5 months, and, you know, of course, I called my parents every day, like, have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? And, you know, they went and talked to the district attorney, and I think they let me sit in there for 2.5 months just to, like, completely detox and get everything out of my system. And I remember being so excited the day that I called my mom, and she's like, okay, the district attorney has agreed to release you to us, and we're going to take you straight to rehab. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. It was the most exciting thing ever. Oh my goodness. So, you know, she's like, we're coming to get you tomorrow, whatever. So, so excited. So tomorrow came, and I was like waiting and 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 waiting. And finally, when they called my name, you know, everybody like runs. It's like, what do you have? And so I gave away, you know, like all of my food, all my commissary, everything that I had, except for my gray sweatsuit, because that's all I had to wear, because they threw away the stuff that I got arrested in. So I had to wear that gray sweatsuit out of there. So they came and got me and took me back to their house. My parents came and got me, took me back to their house. I got to take a shower, a real shower. Oh, it was nice. I got to take a shower. I got to put some makeup on, even though I had to take it off as soon as I got to the rehab center, because you can't wear makeup there. But you can have a blow dryer. I was so excited to have a blow dryer. Woo! Anyway, so the rehab was like 3 hours away. So I took a shower, blow dried my hair. We stopped and ate at a restaurant, and it was delicious. We stopped and ate, and then they dropped me off. I think I got to rehab at like 7 o'clock at night. And paid for that. Started my rehab stint, which that'll be another story. But I guess I need to tell y'all about my sentencing, because that's one thing I haven't been over yet. So I finished rehab and went to sober living. And that's when the court dates started. And my mom went to every single court date with me, every single one. And I was absolutely terrified that I was going to go to prison for 3 years like the lady that, you know, I had been in the jail with. My judge was Doug Hughes. He was very fair. I really liked him, but I was still terrified. Every time I went to court, I was just like, oh Lord, what's going to happen? So it finally came like sentencing, and I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. Oh my goodness. And my parents did not pay for me to have a lawyer. So I had a public defender. And when I saw my public defender for the first time, I was like, I did it. Like, what do I need to do? I did it. Let's just get this over with. I did it. And so when sentencing came, I had no idea what to expect. I was just like, oh, please, I don't want to go to prison. Oh, God, please don't let me go. I just don't want to go to prison. And so they called my name, and I went up there, and he sentenced me to 5 years probation. How lucky was that? It was because I was a first-time offender. I'd never been in trouble before, and you know, I had been through rehab. I was at a sober living house. So all of that, I think, looked really good. So he sentenced me to 5 years of probation, and I ended up doing 9 months of probation. And you have to pay your probation fees every month. It was like $70 a month. And then you have court costs you have to pay and stuff like that. But I remember, and you have to go to court every so often, and you have to see your probation officer every so often. And like, she would pop up at the sober living house I was at, and you know, just see like how I was doing. And I went to court one day, and Judge Hughes was like, you know, he said, I've just been getting great reports on you from your probation officer. And he said, I just don't think this is who you are. He said, I think that you just got into a situation that you couldn't get yourself out of. And he said, I just don't see the potential for you to reoffend. And I'm thinking, I promise I won't. I promise I won't. And I didn't. I've not reoffended. And I never will. We don't live that life anymore. No, jail's what I needed because I wanted help. And I think that he saw that. I think he saw that was not what I wanted. That was not the life that I wanted. And thankfully, you know, I just couldn't believe it. And it was like, you know, it was probably 8.5 months, maybe 9 months later, and I went, yay! And the whole courtroom like started laughing, because I didn't mean to do like the yay, but I was so excited, just be done with it. Just be completely and totally done with it. And so that's how that part ends. And I'll have to tell y'all about the U.S. Marshals and East Baton Rouge Parish Prison and what happened with that arrest. So that'll be the next video that I'll tell y'all about that.